They were rich, famous, untouchable, until everything collapsed almost overnight. IRS raids, million-dollar lawsuits, fortunes erased in silence. And number 10? Hollywood still refuses to talk about what really happened. Before we begin, remember this. In Hollywood, money disappears faster than fame, and the collapse always starts long before anyone notices. Pamela Anderson. Pamela Anderson was once one of the most recognized faces on Earth. Baywatch didn't just make her famous, it made her mythical. Every appearance, every magazine cover, every endorsement added millions to her empire. But behind the glamour was a ticking bomb no one saw. She trusted the wrong advisors. She poured millions into chaotic home renovations she never finished. She battled lawsuits, expensive divorces, and year after year, the IRS kept knocking at her door. By 2009, she owed over $1.7 million in taxes. California publicly listed her among the state's worst tax delinquents, a humiliation broadcast worldwide. The collapse was brutal. The world kept the posters, but it forgot the price she paid. Today, she lives quietly, rebuilding her life with discipline. Her fall reveals a truth Hollywood hates. Fame protects no one when the money runs out. And this wasn't even close to the worst downfall on this list. 2. Kim Basinger. At her peak, Kim Basinger was Hollywood royalty, an Oscar winner, a fashion icon, a woman earning millions per film. Then one decision destroyed everything. She backed out of a controversial movie contract. The studio sued, the court sided with them. She was hit with an $8.1 million judgment of financial execution. Overnight, she had to declare bankruptcy. She sold property, faced public ridicule, and watched Hollywood quietly push her aside. Even after returning to acting, the scar never faded. Her case became a warning whispered across the industry. One signature can build a fortune, and one signature can destroy it. But the next collapse was darker and far more painful. If you're still watching, hit subscribe because the downfall Hollywood tried to erase is still coming. The truth behind number 10 almost never saw daylight. 3. Brendan Fraser. The late 90 seconds belonged to Brendan Fraser. The Mummy made him a global superstar. Audiences adored him. Studios relied on him. But Hollywood didn't see what was happening behind the curtain. Fraser performed most of his own stunts and his body paid the price. He endured broken bones, torn discs, surgeries, months of recovery, and medical bills that drained millions. Then came a painful divorce and a legal battle that suffocated his finances for years. Hollywood replaced him with newer faces. Invitations stopped. Roles vanished. The industry erased him slowly, quietly. But after nearly a decade in the shadows, Fraser did the impossible. He came back. Raw, vulnerable, brilliant. He won an Oscar. He made the world stand up again. His story isn't just a fall, it's a resurrection. But others weren't as lucky. 4. Gary Busey. Gary Busey was respected long before memes and modern fame. His acting was intense, fearless, unforgettable. But behind closed doors, everything was collapsing. A devastating motorcycle accident, substance abuse, legal battles, a costly divorce. He burned through decades of earnings at a terrifying speed. In 2012, he was forced to file bankruptcy with over $500,000 in debt. Headlines mocked him. Hollywood moved on. His downfall proved one thing: decades of success can vanish in seconds when chaos takes control. And yet, the next artist fell twice as hard. Toni Braxton. Toni Braxton sold over 70 million records. Her voice defined an era. Her success was legendary. But behind the spotlight was a brutal truth. Her contracts paid her far less than fans imagined. She trusted managers who misled her. Her health collapsed. Her expenses were higher than her earnings. In 1998, she declared bankruptcy. She rebuilt. Then, in 2010, it happened again. 2 bankruptcies, 2 resets, 2 financial deaths. Few artists in history have endured what she did. Her story is a warning carved into the music industry. Fame is loud, but bankruptcy is louder. But Hollywood's next downfall wasn't from bad contracts, it was from the government itself. 6. Willie Nelson. Willie Nelson is a legend, a true American icon. But even legends aren't safe from the IRS. By the early 90 seconds, the IRS claimed he owed $16.7 million in taxes. Investigators raided storage units, seized property, froze accounts, and dismantled everything he owned. It was one of the most aggressive tax takedowns against a celebrity in history. To survive, Nelson recorded a benefit album dedicated to the IRS case and toured relentlessly. Slowly, painfully, he escaped the $16 million hole. His collapse wasn't just financial, it was a public dissection. But the next downfall hits even harder, because this time, the friends he trusted were the ones who broke him. 7. T-Pain. There was a time when T-Pain was unstoppable. More than $40 million, chart-topping hits, global tours, massive endorsements. Then everything fell apart. Bad advisors, failed investments, fake friends, overspending. A financial empire burned to ashes. He admitted publicly, "I had $0." The world laughed, the headlines exploded. But T-Pain didn't stay down. He rebuilt through streaming, gaming, podcasting, and pure creativity. His comeback is one of the most respected reinventions of his generation. But the next story is a masterclass in survival. 8. 50 Cent. Curtis 50 Cent Jackson didn't just succeed, he dominated. Music, fashion, acting, business, and the legendary vitamin water deal that made him tens of millions. Then came the lawsuits, the failed ventures, the judgments. Debt piled up over $22 million. In 2015, he filed for bankruptcy protection. People mocked him, called him finished. But they didn't understand, this wasn't a collapse, it was strategy. 50 Cent reorganized everything, restructured, reinvented. Then came power and a wave of hit shows that rebuilt his empire from the ground up. Today, he is one of Hollywood's smartest survivors. But the next downfall was far more public and far more violent. 9. Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp wasn't just a star, he was an empire. $20 million per movie, multiple mansions, penthouses, a private island, rare art, collectibles, a lifestyle burning nearly $2 million per month. Then came the lawsuits, the scandals, the battles that lasted years. His finances collapsed faster than anyone imagined. He nearly lost everything. Today, Depp chooses his roles carefully, tours globally, and rebuilds piece by piece. His story became one of Hollywood's most public financial destructions. And now, the downfall Hollywood hoped you would never hear about. 10. Wesley Snipes. Wesley Snipes was a superstar. Blade made him a global icon. He earned over $40 million. He had power, fame, luxury, everything. But behind the scenes, he stopped paying taxes for years. The IRS didn't negotiate, they attacked. They charged him with $23 million in unpaid taxes, seized assets, froze accounts, and eventually sent him to federal prison. His collapse wasn't just financial, it was total. Snipes didn't lose money, he lost his entire world. Today, he lives quietly, far from the spotlight that once worshipped him. His downfall remains the story Hollywood never wants to revisit. These stories reveal a simple truth. Money doesn't vanish in one moment, it dies through 1,000 small decisions, bad investments, wrong advisors, and the illusion that millions last forever. Fame hides the cracks until the collapse becomes impossible to ignore. This was Fame and Fortune, where legends rise, fall, and reveal the truths the world never sees. Subscribe, the next story is even darker.